Hi everybody! Welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. I hope you enjoy my painting videos. I have tons of painting tutorials that I've done since 2020, so you can choose from a lot of them. So today I'll be painting a seascape. Early in the morning, today I went to the beach. I mean, it's very near my house, so it was just a walking distance uh, a location. So it was so easy for me to get some photos. And I decided to paint one today um, that I took a picture of. Okay, and I'm just so excited because this is I really like this seascape paintings because they're very enjoyable to do. And you can definitely relate to this because you probably have visited one or two or more um, uh, what do you call this, beaches and lots of lakes and other water places. Okay, so I'll be using an 11 by 14 inch canvas paper. You can use a proportionate size of material that you want for yourselves. You can definitely use another shape of canvas if you also prefer that one. And we will be using some palette knifing today because when we do seascapes, most of the time we use or we want some texture to appear on the painting. And we also want to do some tiny waves and movement. Although I must tell you that the beach I went to early in the morning, it was more calm. So it's not going to be a wavy type of seascape. I just want to paint, as much as possible, a realistic looking seascape. So let's start now. So by the way, the colors that I'll be using for today's tutorial are as follows. We have Phthalo Blue, Burnt Sienna, the lightest version of brown, and also the medium version of brown. So just lighten up your burnt sienna by adding white to that to get this type of light brown and also this type of brown. Okay, so just add white. It depends. Okay, and then titanium white, and we have oxide black. So I'm gonna sketch first where things are gonna go so that you won't get lost so that we remember, okay, where we're gonna put everything in. So for the sketch, I'm just gonna use my primary blue, my phthalo blue right here. I'm gonna draw the horizon line. So the horizon line will be below the, what do you call this, below the midline. And I'm just gonna draw straight line, just like that. Okay, just like that. And then I'm gonna make some little triangle, like from this point to this point. So this will be the waters, and the other triangle will be the sand part. Okay. The waters were so calm this morning. Uh, I really, really like it. Now, usually Chicago has very windy type of weather, so the waves will be always be present. But this morning it was more calm, and I like that. Okay, so this is where things are gonna go. I'm gonna get a bigger brush so that I can cover a bigger surface much faster with with fewer brush strokes. So I'm gonna underpaint the sand first. So for the underpainting of that, I'm gonna get my burnt sienna and mix it with tiny bit of black. Okay, this is the underpainting. This is not the actual color. Okay, thanks. Okay, so it's dark brown. Again, this is not the actual color, but this is the underpainting, which will give us some depth and also dimension. Okay, now I'm gonna wash my brush out. You can definitely use another or a cleaner brush so that um, it doesn't mix with the brown because we'll be using a different color now. So I'll be doing the sky part. Okay. So for the sky, I'm gonna do a lot of blues, but we're gonna underpaint it. So I'm gonna use my my phthalo blue. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix it with white, of course. Tiny bit of black. We don't want to uh, use pure everything here. We need to tone down the colors. Actually, a little bit of brown. Okay, just to tone the colors down. So I'm gonna use this to underpaint the sky part. I'm gonna dab onto my pure white. Just dab onto your pure white. And color this part, the middle section of the sky. This step is very preliminary. Preliminary, okay? This is not the actual color. Okay, I'll be getting my blue again. I'll be mixing it with some burnt sienna that you see here. I'll be darkening. Okay. I think I need a little bit of ultramarine. So I'm gonna get my ultramarine because I want some sort of violet colors that almost violet. I'm gonna mix my blue with my ultramarine. My phthalo blue with my ultramarine and tiny bit of black just to tone the colors down. Okay, we want some. Oops, sorry about that noise. We want some dark colors right here on the left side to add more, realism to the painting. It's gonna be all the way down here to the horizon line. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white. You can add water so that it's more smooth. I'm gonna get my primary blue. Oh, sorry, I keep saying primary blue. It's phthalo blue. Although, in all honesty, you can definitely use a primary blue color. It probably is just a matter of names. They probably are the same. Because what I noticed is that primary blue uh, is a good alternative as well to phthalo blue. I'm using phthalo blue, okay, just to be clear. Okay, now let's go back to dark ultramarine and phthalo blue combination. Okay, I'm gonna try to make some sort of blending. Okay, I'm gonna get a different brush just to blend. Okay, When you're using, or if you're using paper, just like me, okay, the paper tends to absorb more or to absorb strongly, quite strongly, than when you're using stretch canvas. Okay, it's very normal. Now I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna add some black so that it's a little bit on the gray side of things. Okay, and I'm gonna apply that down here. Use water if necessary. And I'm just gonna use my hands directly on my paper because I want to blend. Okay, using my hands. I want to. I think I blend uh, more nicely when I use my hands. Okay, just like that. Okay, let's just. Right. Just keep blending. Just keep blending, and stop whenever you want to. Whenever you feel like it's enough. Okay. I'm just gonna use the same color, but I'm trying to layer. The first layer always feels like it's dry and it's so difficult to blend. So just layer and it will help smoothen out the canvas or the material that you're painting on. Because the tooth of the canvas is already painted, that's why it's easier to layer. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I'm gonna add more layers. So I'm gonna get my white, pure white, and I get another brush, and I'm gonna dab onto my white. And I'm gonna create some like cloud-like brush strokes up here. So I'm dry brushing in a way, but my brush is quite damp enough to be able to spread on the canvas, spread paint on the canvas, but dry enough to be able to create some patterns. I want to make it a little more gray. Don't want to use pure white, everything pure white. I want to create a little more bluish color. Okay. I will do a little more blending later because I really want to make this good. Okay, now let's create some sort of like a line of like a cloud pattern near the horizon line. We want some sort of blended look down here. And then we want a suggestion of brightness right here. Okay. Then I'm going to get my pure white just to brighten up this portion. And by the way, I'm a finger painter. Okay. So don't take that literally, but I use my hands a lot directly on my canvas. And if you have allergies, don't don't try this at home. Okay, but I think acrylics are generally safe for a lot of artists, you know. But again, I'm not going to uh, force you to do something that might endanger you. Okay, I'm just telling you how I'm doing it. It's up to you. Okay, you are fully um, free to follow my style and my techniques. But again, you know you. Okay? I'm gonna get some water down, right? I'm just gonna spread it right here. It's like glazing it, okay, without actually painting over the blues. Now, if you accidentally paint it over it, just add your blues. Don't worry too much about uh, making a mistake right here. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna make it. But oops, my my paintbrush is flying for some reason. And here, and then more brightness. And okay, I'm gonna gray that down. It's too bright. I mean, yeah, like that. So it's like transitioning from gray to bright white, right there in the middle. But we don't want everything to be just pure white because that's just not very realistic. Just keep going because we're gonna get there. Okay, I really like this one. Okay, we're just starting, and I love the sky part already. Okay, we're gonna go back to that later. Let's do the water. Okay, for the water, I'm gonna get some ultramarine that we already have. Gonna get my ultramarine. Oops. Gonna mix it with black and white. Okay. A little more black so that it's like grayish ultramarine-ish. Okay, and then I'm gonna paste that in right here. Right here. Okay, I'm gonna add white and black to make it more grayish. Up to this point. All right. Okay, like that. I'm just gonna make a little bit of adjustment, okay? Because I want to make this a little like extended right here. Okay, just like that. A little bit of adjustment. Okay. All right, just like that. Okay. Let's proceed to the next portion. I'm gonna wash my brush out. Let's go back to using our sorry, phthalo blue. If you have cerulean blue, you can use that, but I don't have it readily available here. I'm just gonna get my white, mix it with my phthalo blue to get that cerulean blue color. Okay, and then I'm just gonna paste it on right here. I'm gonna add tiny bit of brown, okay, to make it look more turquoisey because the burnt sienna has some sort of yellow color to that. So when it is mixed with the blue color, it's going to turn it into a more greeny color, which is what we want, turquoisey color. Yeah, like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna paste that in right there. We'll be doing a little bit of lighthouse right there. I did not mention that earlier, but it will be there. Okay, a bit of turquoise color. Okay. Now, while we still have this color on our paintbrush, I'm going to get back to that ultramarine greenish color, ultramarine grayish color that we had earlier. I'm just going to paste it in right here in between those two colors. So it's like a gradient effect, you know, transitioning from light, like turquoise color to something in between the ultramarine color. Okay. Just like this. Up to this point, to the end of that triangle. All right, just like that. I'm gonna create more of that ultramarine right here. We want it transitioning, but more dominantly ultramarine color right here. Okay, all right, just like that. Now let's go back to the sand part. It's pretty much dry now. So I'm gonna get, we have these two more brown colors right here. So I'm gonna get this brown, okay, this brown. Okay, and I'm gonna mix it with tiny bit of black. So it's like grayish brown. Okay, maybe this will do. I'm gonna add more black. Oops, dry. And again, I'm just gonna use my hands. Like this. And I'm not gonna wash my brush anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some of my lightest brown that you see here, but of course with a little bit of black to mute the color down. Again, everything in nature is muted. Okay, everything. Okay, this is very dry because my paint is already like super old paint. Okay, so I'm gonna use this almost, we're gonna like entirely just paint over the dark brown color that we had. But if you're asking why did you do that, if you're just gonna paint over that, again, the underpainting is supposed to be like under um, multiple layers of paintings. They are there to give the undertone and also dimension and they call this depth. Okay, just cover everything then. But even if we've already covered it with that color, it's gonna peek through. That brownie color will somehow peek through. It may not be visible to the eye, but it will make our painting look more realistic, in all honesty. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the same color right here along the shore, the shoreline. Okay, right like that. Okay. Let me just look at it from the, okay, this is really nice. I love it already. Okay, now, okay, I'm gonna just sketch where the tiny, like very far, what do you call that? What do you call that? Uh, I was mentioning it already. I forgot. The lighthouse, the lighthouse. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get my black. Okay, and then carefully, I'm just gonna draw like a line right here that will serve as like the platform, like a little bridge where the lighthouse is. Straight line like that. Okay, lovely. Okay, I love it. I'm gonna use another brush, a smaller one. I'm gonna dab onto my white. I did not wet my brush. And I'm just gonna lighten, create some sort of light effect right here. We're gonna dry brush right here. Just very near the horizon line. Okay. Also a little bit of dry brushing right here below that black line that we just had. We're starting to create some sort of light and sparkles. And in order for us to do the sparkle, we need to dry brush, or at least use a dry brush technique. That's how I'm gonna do it. Okay. Some more light. And also a little bit of like wave. Okay. And then again, using pure white, I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight just on top of that black line. Okay, perfect. And more light. Okay, right there. And also some brightness right here. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna use this white, okay, to mix it with my lightest brown. And I'm just gonna selectively, like randomly apply that lightest brown right here on the sand part. You don't want to do this on every single area of the sand part. Just want to highlight some things. Okay, now I'm going to use some dark browns to create some, those like some pets have walked along this area, or a human being, like footprints or paw prints, or just random unevenness on the sand part. Let me just check. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Now I'm gonna use a really, really small brush to do the lighthouse. So I'm gonna use, actually, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. It's quite long, but I'm just gonna use this very pointy brush of mine, and then I'm just gonna draw. I'm just gonna draw that little bit of lighthouse. It's probably not even a lighthouse. I've been walking along this beach for quite a while. I'm just assuming that it's a lighthouse because um, lighthouses are usually located along the beach area and on a platform like this, and it's shaped like that. Like that. Maybe a little bit of like this. Some tiny post. Okay, beautiful. All right, like this. Okay, now let's start some more detailing. So I'm gonna get my bigger brush. I'm just gonna get my bigger brush. I'm just gonna wash it very well. Okay, and then I'm gonna glaze over the sky part. So I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna water it down. Okay, remember when we're glazing, we're not gonna use a glazing medium. We're not going to take that literally, but we're just gonna use that to create some water down paints so that it does not really cover the painting right underneath. Okay, so I'm just going to use my water down white, but it has some sort of blue color to that, and it's fine. Okay, I'm just going to apply that here, just like you're glazing, as if you're using a glazing medium, but we're not actually doing that. For me, using a glazing medium probably will work on some other projects, but generally, when I say glazing, I just meant using a watered down thing, watered down paints, and they work just fine. Now, okay, like this. Okay, lovely. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Now I'm just gonna apply a little bit of glazing effect right here, but not too much. Remember that this part is a little bit dark, so you don't want to apply too much right there. If you think you're over glazing it, just get your other blues and just what do you call that? Fix some areas if you want to. Okay. I'm gonna darken the lowest portion of this horizon, or the first portion, sorry, the first area, like just above the horizon line. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Again, my advice is just to just keep going. So, it would have been easier for me to blend if I'm using um, what they call this, a stretch canvas. Okay. I'm telling you, you have no idea how absorbent my canvas paper is. That's why I just keep on layering. But the good thing about here is if you can work with something like this, working on a stretch canvas, if you want to have a big project, would be so much easier because you already know how to work with something as difficult as a canvas paper. I'm not saying that all canvas papers are like this. I'm just saying that canvas papers are usually like this. If your canvas paper is not absorbent as mine, well and good. Okay. I just keep on working on my sky because I actually love it. Absolutely love the sky part. Okay, now I want to, okay, let me just soften a bit this area because it's too harsh. Okay, now I'm gonna have to use my palette knife. So I'm gonna use this knife. You can see that it has some paints, dried paints on it, but it's good because it's just gonna create more texture. I'm gonna dab onto my white, and I think I already ran out of white. So I'm just gonna get my white. Okay. And I'm just gonna use the edge for this effect. So I'm gonna use my palette knife now. I'm gonna use the edge. Okay, and then I'm gonna work um, by using the horizontal application. So I'm just gonna start right here and let the palette knife do the job for you. Make it straight. Okay, by the way, do your best to make it straight. Okay. You don't have to do the that kind of movement. You can easily tap. here. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on some areas right here along the shoreline. Okay, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna use again my paintbrush. Let's switch to using our paint brushes. Okay, but maybe I'm just gonna use another brush because I want to create some clouds. So I'm gonna use another brush. I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna use my white and then okay, I'm gonna create that cloud-like patterns. Okay. Also, just brightening up a bit. Okay, and again, apply some dry brushing along the beach so that you brighten even more the sand part. You can use the light brown color mixed with white just to emphasize um, the light. I really love this. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna apply a little bit of my medium brown right here on certain areas to make it more like lifelike. And then go back to some lightest brown that you have. Okay, it's nice. Okay, now I'm just gonna do a little more glazing on the water part. So let's go back to the turquoise color. Remember, we already had that earlier. I'm just gonna mix my white to that so that we have a little more bright turquoise color. So using some watered down turquoise, let's go back to doing the water part, brightening the most distant part. Okay, it's like that. Okay. Okay, and then since we already lost the horizon line because of too much glazing, I'm gonna redo that. I'm gonna use my ultramarine plus black. Okay, make it really like thin lines. So do this as quick as possible so that you don't create like too harsh of a line. Okay, nice. I love this. Okay. Now I'm gonna get back to my palette knife. Let's do some gray color. So I'm gonna mix my white with some black because we don't want to use pure white on every area of the sparkles. Sorry, can't talk. So I'm gonna use a little bit of gray colors on the sparkles. Again, just like what we did with the first um, sparkle making technique. Just do the same thing. So this will be more gray, and this will make the sparkle look more real because they sparkle in different brightness. It's not, some of them are not that bright, some of them are too bright. It's just normal, it's very natural. Okay. I love it. Mhm. Then using my lightest brown, I'm gonna um, glaze over the sand part again, just to make it more cohesive, or yeah, more cohesive. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I think this is like, this is done, right? I love it so much. Okay. So I'm gonna sign this now. This is done. I'm gonna use my pointiest brush for the signature. So for the signature, I'm just gonna use my black because I'm gonna sign right here on the lower right corner. Okay, and we're finished. Wow, that was quick. Less than an hour. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope you paint along with me. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below. And see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Love you.